Cool. Hey, Sam. I'm glad that you were able to chat with me this morning. I just wanted to talk to you a bit about your experience finding senior services online. I know that you looked for retirement residents specifically before you and I met, but I wanted to see if you could enlighten me onto how the senior services search went, any feelings you had around that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, well, our online search was quite frustrating and took a lot more time than we expected. My cousin, or my husband's cousin, was in the hospital, and after some brain surgery, he was paralyzed on the left side, and he needed to find some long-term care. We needed to find some long-term care. We were helping his girlfriend care for him. And so the social worker at the hospital gave us this big list, and we started looking, or I started calling them all up. And as I was answering their questions, my questions came up, and it seemed like they weren't the places for him. So we kind of abandoned that search and went online. And it was frustrating in the sense that there seemed to be lots of healthcare for fit his needs were few and far between. They seemed more of a nursing home kind of facility, and they had long wait lists, especially if we were stuck with a city. I don't want to say stuck. I guess if we would have to go with a city or provincial run
Like the nursing
facility.
Home. Okay.
In a sense, our cousin had limitations in that he would need a lift to get out of bed because of his paralysis. He would need care for like going to the washroom, bathing. He also had a special chair, this monstrosity that was supposed to help his muscles not deteriorate and strengthen. And there are very few facilities that wanted to deal with this chair, and also few that had a lift.
Something I found really interesting, Sam, when you and I talked about it before, was it really just rang true to me, and it stuck with me. And the fact that you said you looked online and you spent a bunch of time sorting, and then you sorted it to what you thought was the right ones, and then you called them or you visited only to find out that they weren't the right ones again. So you did like a double search.
Yeah. The searches kept happening over and over because there was the phone calls with the list the social worker had given us. And then it's like, okay, well, there's this little chair icon. They'll take the chair. So it's like, okay, so we have to go with those. And so it called them. They weren't. The sheet was out of date, or they no longer took people with a specific chair. And then going online, there's limited amount of information on what the facility has, or it will look like they will care to the point of almost a nursing home state. But then once you get on the phone with them, you realize that, no, they're just like a retirement living with some healthcare if it's required here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that you operate your own business as well. So I know that, like, did you find it really time consuming, or like were you kind of feelings around the search in general?
Yeah. It was, and we were under pressure with the hospital as well. There were a couple of family issues going on with my cousin's daughters, and so the hospital, and given that they couldn't have any more care, or give him any more care to benefit his life, they wanted to give the bed to someone else who they could help, understandably. And for my business, like, the nice thing is my business is seasonal. But in being seasonal, this was happening in spring, so I was starting to get ready for my markets and craft shows. But because of the care that we were spending with our cousin and with finding retirement homes, there wasn't any time to apply for craft shows or even participate in them. And being that market season was coming up, yeah, it was starting to weigh in on my mind, like working on schedules, trying to find something before that started, and so that all three of us and the cousin could be comfortable and just kind of continue on in a new setting.
So I mean, I'm just listening to you, right? Because we work at Tea and Toast. I work with a lot of clients that are going through this, and I wanted to talk to you about what we're doing now. But I mean, it's not just the retirement search, right? It's not just home care search. It's not just a search for whatever, right? It goes into, like you said, like the timing. It goes into like what you can do for work, and it would have cut into your revenue stream if you would have been able to get to those craft shows, and like all the, you know, not only is it the mental anguish, but it's, you know, it cuts into, I'm hearing, every little bit of your life, right? You're trying to balance family and all of this other stuff.
Yeah, and like talking about the mental anguish, like you're trying to find a place that's not just best in care for the person you're looking for, but where they're going to be happy. Like he was probably around his 60s. So we didn't want to put him in a nursing home where everyone was going to be 80, 90, 100. But then in a retirement setting, there wasn't the care that he needed. So that part was emotional.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned to you, the nice situation that we were in, we were lucky enough to be in a situation where finances weren't a major concern, because he had a healthy pension and his wife had passed away quite a while ago, and he had her pension as well. So like financially, money wasn't a concern, which I think really helped that. It was one big thing not to think about, and I consider ourselves lucky in that aspect. But then again, there's that emotional toll, and you get kind of angry because you walk out of a meeting where you schedule a meeting to look around the facility because your phone conversation seemed to go well and it looked like it would be a great spot, and then you walk out and you're like, oh, come on, like you just look. We were looking for, I think, 3 weeks, and his health had changed, so the hospital actually found him a spot at Briere. But it was we spent 3 weeks needlessly, in a sense, searching.
You basically had to become an expert right away for something you would probably never use again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so separate to Tea and Toast, which is We Find Retirement Living, and we're looking into long-term care homes as well now. We have started a new website, a new project, and what I want to do is I want to show you. I'm going to share you my screen.
Okay, great.
An idea. It's a very brief idea, but so the localsenior.com. Can you see that, Sam?
Yeah.
A brand new site. So with Tea and Toast, we definitely do the personalized service. We do all of that. And all that aside, this site is a community of businesses who are working with seniors to help them find very specific services. Instead of going, 12 and 15 pages deep on Google, we're bringing all the services here. And we're launching the last here this week, not the last, but the next. But just briefly, so you can see the retirement homes on this is, if you were searching online, you can still contact Tea and Toast through the retirement homes in Ottawa here. But if you were searching online, this would be the site, right? So you'd be able to have a look at just the retirement homes, but then you'd be able to zoom in here with the map in your area, what was the best way. And then briefly, the listing would be looking like this, right? So they talk about amenities and different things. And then also care needs to come down a little bit more, and furnishing and pricing and the layout of this. Do you feel like if you had something like this when you were looking, separate to what I can do for you and Tea and Toast, do you feel like this would have benefited you, Sam?
It would have, because all the information that we needed is all in one spot.
Right.
Like you said, you've got the health needs, which were a major concern, plus others like if furnishings, what kind of care, the price was there as well, and it's all in one convenient spot. That would have been very beneficial to us. It would have made our search much shorter as well.
I bet.
A lot less frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's, I'll stop sharing it now, but that's, I mean, that's the benefit that we're hoping to bring, right? We're just trying to build this community. And then in that community as well, I'd love your feedback, because in that community, we're doing it locally for each city, hopefully across Canada, right? So that's what we're doing. We're expanding in Ontario right now. But when the businesses come on as a membership to our site, they get to display their things appropriately, their businesses appropriately, but also they're contributing to us being able to have things like volunteer boards and caregiver discussion groups and pages on tax benefits and blogs and all this stuff to support the seniors and the families in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
The senior service industry is very large, but it's very scattered still, and there's nothing like it in Canada. So we're hoping to bring some harmony to it.
Yeah, and it looks like you're going to be doing that, which people like me will appreciate. Especially with like you said, the growing demographic of seniors, and it's not like when I was a kid when my great grandmother went into a nursing home. It's like let's say my mom's age are downsizing, and she has her specific needs, whereas in 20, 30 years it will be a little bit different.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for chatting with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Feedback, please do reach back out to me and have a look, thelocalsenior.com. Have a look around. Like I said, we're building one category at a time, but it's definitely picking up some steam, so it's great.
Excellent. Well, best of luck, Amy. It looks great.
Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds great. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye.